The unexpected encounter, the night was silent. The sky was dark, with only a silver moon shining above. The forest stood quiet, filled with shadows. Every leaf seemed still, as if waiting. Then, a sudden sound broke the silence. A sharp boom shook the air. Birds flew from the trees. The ground trembled. In the distance, a light flashed bright blue, cutting through the darkness. It was not lightning. It was something strange. The man, walking home late, stopped in his tracks. His heart raced. He had never seen such a light before. It came from deep inside the forest, far from the road. Smoke began to rise into the air, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Curiosity pushed him forward. Fear whispered for him to stay away, but his legs moved on their own. The forest floor cracked under his steps as he followed the strange glow. Each sound, each snap of a twig felt louder than usual. He held his breath, listening. Somewhere in the distance, a metal groan echoed, like a dying machine. As he came closer, the smell of burning metal filled the air. He could see it now. A small pod half buried in the ground. Its surface shined like silver, but broken in places, sparking with tiny lights. It looked alive, yet wounded. He stopped. His chest tightened. What was this thing? Was it from Earth, or was it from somewhere else? Then movement. The pod's door hissed open. Steam poured out. He stepped back quickly, almost tripping over a rock. A shadow moved inside the pod. His heart hammered in his chest. Out stepped something small, something fragile. At first it looked like a child, but when his eyes adjusted, he realized it was not human at all. It was a tiny alien girl. Her body glowed faintly, as if made of soft starlight. Her eyes were large and shining, full of fear and pain. Her hair floated gently, though there was no wind. She looked delicate, almost unreal, like a dream. She stumbled forward, weak, and fell to her knees. The man froze. He wanted to run, but something stopped him. She looked up, and their eyes met. In that moment, he felt a pull inside his chest. Fear, mixed with pity and something else he could not name. Her voice was soft, trembling. "Please," she whispered. "Please, free me. They will come." The man's mouth went dry. He could not believe it. An alien. A living, breathing alien right in front of him. And she was asking for help. Who will come? He asked, his voice shaking. She looked around, terrified. Her hands, small and glowing, clutched the ground as if she expected it to vanish. "They hunt me," she said. "They always hunt me. If they find me here, I will be taken. Forever." The man swallowed hard. His instincts told him this was dangerous. He should leave. He should run. But his heart told him something else. She looked so weak, so desperate. The forest suddenly felt heavier. The silence was no longer peaceful. It was waiting, watching. Somewhere far above, a faint humming began, like distant engines. The man felt the sound in his bones. The alien girl looked up, fear flooding her eyes. "They are coming," she said again, her voice breaking. The man's thoughts spun in circles. He had a choice: help her or walk away. If he stayed, he might die. If he left, she would be captured. His eyes went back to the pod. Strange marks glowed on its surface, symbols he could not understand. Sparks flickered, fading fast. The pod was dead. She had nowhere else to go. The alien girl crawled closer to him, her movements slow and weak. She reached out, her small, glowing hand trembling. Her beauty was strange, unearthly, but there was also sadness in her face, a pain that felt very human. "Please," she whispered again. "Set me free. I will give you something in return. One night of truth. One night of connection. But help me. Save me." The man's breath caught. He had no words. The weight of her plea pressed on him. This was not just a meeting. This was fate. Above, the humming grew louder. Lights flickered in the sky, searching. The hunters were close. He looked at the alien girl, then at the sky. His decision had to be made now. No more waiting. The night had begun with silence. Now it had become a battlefield of choices, and he knew. His life would never be the same again. The Plea, the forest, was no longer quiet. The humming in the distance grew louder, and the man's heart pounded harder with every sound. Above the trees, strange lights flickered, moving slowly as if searching. The night had turned into a dangerous stage, and he stood at the center of it, face to face with something he had never imagined. The tiny alien girl struggled to stand. Her knees trembled, and her glowing skin dimmed like a candle losing strength. She leaned on a tree for support, her large eyes locked on him. Fear lived in her gaze, but also something else, a hope, fragile and small. "Please," she whispered again, her voice soft yet desperate. "You must help me. They will take me back. If you do nothing, I will disappear forever." The man stepped closer, his shoes sinking into the wet ground. His mind fought against itself. One part screamed, "This is too dangerous. Leave." Another part whispered, "Look at her. She is afraid. She needs you." He cleared his throat. Why are they chasing you? Who are they?" The alien closed her eyes for a moment, breathing heavily. Then she spoke in broken, simple words, as if choosing carefully. "They are hunters. They belong to the Dark Empire. They collect us, my kind. They sell us, use us. We have no freedom." Her words hit him like cold wind. He imagined cages, chains, and helpless beings locked away in some far galaxy. His stomach twisted. "And you escaped?" he asked. She nodded weakly. "Yes, I broke the chain. I stole the pod. I ran, and I fell here. If they find me, I will never escape again." She stumbled forward, and he caught her before she fell. Her body felt light, too light, as if she was made of starlight instead of flesh. She looked up at him with tearful eyes. "You are human," she said softly. "Your people do not know us. You do not know their cruelty. But you can save me, just once, tonight." The man shook his head in confusion. "Save you? How? I don't even understand what is happening. I'm just ordinary." The alien gripped his wrist, her tiny glowing fingers trembling. "You are not ordinary. You are free. That is power. More power than you think." Her words echoed inside him. Free. He had never thought of freedom as power, but in her eyes it was everything. He opened his mouth to speak, but she continued, her voice rising with urgency. "I offer you something, a gift. One night of truth. One night where I will show you who I am. What I am. A night of connection. My only promise. But you must set me free. You must help me escape them." Her words struck him deeply. There was no trick in her voice, no sharpness, only pain and sincerity. She was not bargaining for greed. She was begging for life. The humming in the sky grew louder. Beams of red light swept across the treetops, scanning. The hunters were closer. The man's chest tightened. "What happens if I refuse?" he asked quietly. The alien looked down, her shoulders sinking. "Then they take me. They use me. And I fade away. My voice, my truth, will be lost forever." Her sadness filled the night like heavy smoke. He looked at her trembling hands, her glowing tears falling onto the dirt. She was not a monster, not a threat. She was just alive, fragile, beautiful, and terrified. He took a step back, rubbing his head. "I don't know if I can fight them. I don't even know what they are. I'm just one man." The alien raised her eyes again, and for the first time they burned with fire. "You are not just one man. You are the first man who saw me and did not turn away. That is enough. Her words pierced his chest. He had never thought of himself as brave. But now, under the dark sky filled with strange lights, he realized bravery was not about power. It was about choice. He looked up. The searchlights cut closer through the trees. Strange voices echoed, metallic and sharp. They were coming. The alien girl stepped closer, her hand pressing to his chest. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Choose me. Save me. Give me this one chance to be free." The man stood frozen. Every second felt heavy. The world seemed to wait for his answer. His breath came fast, his fists tightened. Finally, he looked into her shining eyes and gave a small nod. "All right," he said. "I'll help you." Relief washed over her face. Her glow brightened, faint, but warm. She gave a trembling smile, the first since she had stepped out of the pod. "Thank you," she whispered. "You will not regret this." But deep inside, the man wondered if he already had. The night roared above them. The hunters were almost here. The choice was made, and there was no turning back. The offer. The forest trembled under the heavy sound of engines. The night sky flickered with strange red beams that scanned through the trees like searching eyes. The man stood close to the alien girl, his chest tight, his mind racing. He had promised to help her, but he had no plan. She leaned against him, weak yet glowing faintly. Her breathing was shallow, but her eyes burned with urgency. "They are close," she whispered. "Closer than you think." The man clenched his fists. "Then tell me what to do. I can't fight ships. I don't even know what's chasing us." The alien girl looked at him, her eyes glistening. She stepped closer, her glowing hand brushing his arm. For a moment, the forest around them felt distant, silent, as if her presence pushed the fear away. "I cannot give you weapons," she said, softly. "I cannot give you power, but I can give you truth. And one night of connection. A night no human has ever known. That is my offer, my only gift in return for your help." The man's heart thudded hard. Her voice carried something deeper than simple words. He felt it inside him like music that only his soul could hear. "What do you mean?" he asked. Her gaze dropped to the ground. "Where I come from, my people are never free. We are taken, sold, broken, our voices silenced, but we have one, power left, our bond. When we give someone a night of truth, it is more than touch, more than promise. It is a memory that never fades. It is the deepest connection we can offer. One night, forever burned into your soul." The man's throat went dry. He had never heard of such a thing. It was more than love, more than desire. It was something eternal. "And you're offering this to me?" he asked, his voice low. She nodded slowly. "Because you chose me. You could have run, but you stayed. For that, I will give you everything I am. But only if I live through this night." A shiver ran down his spine. Her words were heavy, strange, and beautiful. He wanted to ask more, but the forest broke with sound. A loud crackle echoed in the sky. The hunters' machines drew nearer, their red beams cutting through the darkness like knives. Shadows shifted across the ground. "They are here," she whispered, her voice trembling. "If you want my gift, if you want me to be free, you must protect me now." The man's eyes darted around. His heart pounded. He saw a narrow path through the trees, covered in thick brush. He grabbed her hand. "Come on, we need to move." She stumbled, weak, but he pulled her along. Branches scratched against his arms as they pushed through the dark woods. The beams of light swept dangerously close, and the humming grew louder, like a swarm of metal wasps. Every step felt like a gamble. If they were seen, it was over. Finally, they slipped into a shallow cave hidden by roots and stone. Inside, shadows swallowed them whole. The man pressed his back to the wall, holding his breath. The alien girl crouched close, her glowing body lighting the cave with a soft silver shine. Outside, Heavy footsteps crunched against the earth. The hunters were searching. Metallic voices echoed, sharp and cold, speaking in a language the man could not understand. Red light swept across the entrance of the cave but did not enter. The sound of machines pressed against his skull, then faded slowly as the hunters moved past. The man let out a shaky breath. That was close. The alien girl touched his arm gently. Her hand was soft but trembling. "You see now," she said, voice heavy with fear. "They will never stop. They will hunt me across worlds. If they catch me, I am lost forever." Her eyes locked onto his. "But if you keep me safe tonight, if you guard me with your life, I will give you my bond. One night of truth. One night where you will know me completely." The man's heart raced. He felt the weight of her words pressing on him like chains. He wanted to believe her. But was it real? Was it worth the danger? He stared into her glowing eyes and saw no lie, only desperation, only a fragile hope. "I don't even know why I'm doing this," he muttered. "But I'll keep you safe. I'll fight if I have to." A small trembling smile appeared on her face. "Then I am yours. My truth is yours. My night is yours. If I live." The man exhaled deeply, feeling the enormity of what he had just accepted. Outside, the hunters still searched. The night was far from over. But inside the cave, a strange bond had begun. A promise. An offer. And the man knew, whatever happened next, his life would never be ordinary again. The chase. The cave was silent, but the silence did not last. Outside, the humming of machines returned, louder than before. The ground shook as something heavy landed in the forest. The man froze, holding his breath. The alien girl's glow dimmed as she pressed against the stone wall, fear flooding her, wide eyes. "They know," she whispered. "They know I am here." The man clenched his jaw. He could hear the sharp crackle of strange weapons, the metallic grind of gears. Voices, cold, mechanical, echoed through the trees. Red beams swept across the forest floor, cutting through the darkness like hunting dogs sniffing for prey. The alien girl grabbed his hand. "We must move. Now." He nodded. Together they slipped out of the cave's shadow. The night air was thick, filled with the smell of smoke and burning metal. Above them, strange ships floated low, their lights scanning every shadow. The man's heart pounded. His every step felt like thunder. He pulled the girl close as they ran through the trees, ducking under branches, leaping over roots. Behind them, the machines roared louder. A sharp blast shook the ground where they had stood moments before. The earth exploded, showering dirt and rocks. The girl gasped, her small body trembling. The man tightened his grip on her hand. "Keep moving," he shouted. They ran faster, weaving through the forest. The beams of light sliced the air behind them, missing by inches. The hunters' voices grew louder, closer, filled with metallic rage. The man's lungs burned, but he pushed forward. Fear gave him strength. The alien girl stumbled, but he lifted her into his arms without slowing down. She was light, almost weightless, her glow flickering weakly against his chest. "Don't stop," she whispered. "They will never stop." The forest opened into a clearing. Moonlight spilled across the grass. For a moment the night seemed calm. But then, shadows moved across the ground, long, sharp, and inhuman. From the trees emerged tall figures. The hunters. Their bodies were armored, black and silver with glowing red eyes. Their hands carried strange weapons that pulsed with energy. Their steps were heavy like iron striking the earth. The man froze, his breath catching. There were 3 of them. Too many. One of the hunters raised its weapon. The air cracked with energy. The man dove to the ground, rolling behind a fallen log, clutching the alien girl close. A blast struck the earth where he had stood, leaving a burning crater. The girl pressed against him, her voice trembling. "You cannot fight them. You must outsmart them." He swallowed hard, his mind racing. His eyes darted around the clearing. Then he saw it. a narrow stream winding through the grass leading into thicker woods. He pointed. That way. We use the water to hide. Before she could answer, he dashed from the log, sprinting toward the stream. The hunters shouted in their strange metallic tongue and fired. Energy blasts tore through the air, ripping trees apart. The ground shook. The man leapt into the stream, cold water splashing across his body. He crouched low, holding the girl against him, their bodies half submerged. The flowing water washed away their heat, hiding them from the scanning beams. The hunters swept their red lights across the forest, but the stream's current carried the pair silently down, away from the clearing. The man's heart hammered, every second a battle between life and death. Finally, the beams faded. The hunter's footsteps grew distant. The machine's humming shifted farther into the woods. The man pulled himself out of the stream, gasping, water dripping from his clothes. He laid the alien girl gently on the ground. She coughed weakly, her glow returning faintly. "You saved us," she whispered, her voice small but filled with awe. He shook his head. "Not yet. They're still out there. They won't stop until they find you." The girl's eyes shimmered, tears mixing with the glow of her skin. "And still, you carry me. You risk yourself for me." "Why?" The man looked at her, breathing heavily. He didn't have an answer. He just knew leaving her was impossible. Something inside him wouldn't allow it. Before he could speak, the night broke again with sound. A ship thundered overhead, its engines screaming. Trees bent under its force. Lights cut through the forest, brighter and sharper than before. The alien girl gasped, clutching his arm. "They bring more. They will not stop." The man looked around. The forest stretched endlessly, filled with shadows and danger. His chest tightened, but his eyes hardened. "Then we keep running," he said. The girl nodded, her small hand gripping his tightly. Together, they vanished once more into the darkness. The chase was far from over. The revelation. The forest seemed endless. The man and the alien girl moved through the shadows, their steps quiet, their breaths heavy. The humming of the hunter's machines grew fainter behind them, but never far enough. It was clear. The chase had not ended. The man carried her again, her weight light as air. Her glow flickered weakly against his chest. She was fading, like a star at dawn. "You're hurt," he whispered. She shook her head. "Not hurt, weak. My power, it is leaving me." He frowned. "Power? What power?" She looked up at him with tired eyes. "The truth, the reason they hunt me, the reason I ran." The man stopped, setting her down gently on a patch of moss. The night was calm for a moment, the forest whispering softly around them. He crouched low, staring into her glowing eyes. "You said they want to use you," he said. "Why? What makes you so important?" The alien girl hesitated. Her hands trembled as she touched the ground, drawing faint glowing lines in the dirt. "Because I carry the key," she whispered. "The key to their end." His chest tightened. "The end of who?" "The hunters," she said. "The empire they serve. The chains they build across worlds. I am the last of my kind who remembers. The code. The weapon that can break them." Her voice shook as she drew more symbols in the dirt, glowing brighter with every mark. Strange shapes. Circles, lines, patterns that seemed alive. The man leaned closer. The marks pulsed with light, humming softly, like they were alive. "What is this?" he asked. She looked at him, her eyes shining with both fear and hope. "Oh, map. A secret path. My people built it long ago. A hidden system that can shut their ships, their weapons, their chains. I hold it inside me. But if they take me, they will destroy it forever." The man felt his throat tighten. She wasn't just a lost creature. She was carrying something much greater, something that could change entire worlds. "And you trusted me with this?" he asked. Her voice softened. "I had no choice, but I also saw something in you. You did not run. You chose to stay. The man looked down at his shaking hands. He had never thought of himself as a hero. But now, under the cold moonlight, he felt the weight of her secret pressing down on him. So they'll never stop until they kill you, he said quietly. She nodded. Or until I use the key. But to use it, I must survive tonight. Only then can I reach the place where it works. Silence filled the forest. The man stared into the dark trees, imagining the hunters closing in. The alien girl's voice broke. The silence. You must understand, she whispered. If I die, my people are lost. If I live, the hunters fall. That is the truth I carry. The man turned back to her, his jaw tight. Then I'll make sure you live, no matter what. Her eyes softened, a small glow of gratitude in the dark. She reached out, placing her trembling hand over his. Her touch was warm, fragile. You do not realize what you promise, she said softly. It is not only my life. It is the lives of many, entire worlds. Are you ready for that? His chest tightened, but he nodded. I didn't ask for this, but I'm here now, and I won't let them take you. Her lips curved into the faintest smile. Then tonight, you are more than human. You are hope. For a moment, the night felt still. The stars above seemed to watch silently. But the silence did not last. Sharp cracks split the air. A beam of red light swept across the trees, burning into the ground nearby. The hunters had found their trail again. The man grabbed her hand, pulling her up. No more secrets. If we're going to make it, you need to trust me completely. She nodded, determination flickering in her glowing eyes. I trust you. Together they ran once more into the forest. But now, the man's steps were different. He no longer ran just to survive. He ran carrying her secret, her truth, and the weight of something much greater than himself. Behind them, the hunters roared. Their machines tore through the night closer and closer. The chase had returned. But now, it was no longer about one girl's freedom. It was about the fate of many worlds. The sacrifice. The night shook with fire. The hunters had closed in. Their machines roared like thunder, tearing through the forest with burning beams of red light. Trees cracked and fell. The ground split with explosions. The man pulled the alien girl close as they sprinted between shadows, but he knew they couldn't run forever. They are too many, she whispered, her voice breaking. They will not stop. Her glow was fading again, dim and fragile. She stumbled and he caught her. His chest heaved, sweat dripping down his face. He had no weapons, no plan, only will. But sometimes will was all a man had. We're not giving up, he said, forcing strength into his voice. Not tonight. They reached a ridge, overlooking a wide clearing below. Strange ships hovered low, their lights cutting across the earth. Armored hunters marched in rows, their red eyes glowing in the dark. There were dozens of them. Too many. The man's stomach sank. We can't fight that. The alien girl touched his arm. Her hand trembled, but her eyes held a strange fear. There is one way, she whispered. He turned sharply. What way? She hesitated, then spoke, her voice heavy with pain. My power, the key, I can use it now, I can strike them. But it will cost me. I will not live after. His chest tightened like a vice. No, there has to be another way, she shook her head slowly. There is not. If they take me alive, everything ends. If I use the key, they fall. But I fall with them. That is the sacrifice. The man's hands shook. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. After all they had, survived after all she had trusted him with, she was ready to give herself up. No, he said firmly. You're not dying, not like this. There has to be another way. Her eyes softened, sadness glowing within. You are human. You value life. That is why I trusted you. But sometimes, freedom demands blood. My people learned that. And now, I carry it. Tears stung his eyes, but he bit them back. I can't just let you go. You offered me your truth, your night. And now you want to throw it away? Her lips curved in a small trembling smile. Truth is never thrown away. If I die, you will still carry it. You will still remember me. That is enough. Before he could speak again, a thunderous blast shook the ridge. The hunters had spotted them. Red beams tore through the trees, exploding into fire. The man pulled her behind a boulder, dirt raining down around them. "We can't stay here," he shouted. The alien girl's glow brightened suddenly, fierce and blinding. She stood taller, her fear replaced with determination. "It is time," she said, her voice strong. "I will end this." "No." He grabbed her wrist, his voice breaking. "Don't do this, please." She looked at him one last time, her glowing eyes deep with sorrow and affection. "You gave me choice. That is more than I ever had. Let me give you freedom in return." Then she pulled away. Her small body floated upward, glowing brighter and brighter until she looked like a falling star in reverse. The hunters stopped, their red eyes turning upward, their weapons aimed. The man screamed, "No!" and ran after her, but the force of her power pushed him back. She raised her hands to the sky. Her voice rang out soft but powerful, in a language he could not understand. The glowing symbols she had shown him earlier burned into the air, spinning around her. The hunters fired, beams of energy slicing through the night. But none touched her. Her glow became blinding, spreading across the clearing, reaching the ships. Above, then came the strike. A wave of light exploded outward, pure and unstoppable. It crashed into the hunters, their armored bodies breaking apart like glass. The ships shattered, their engines screaming as they fell to the earth. The forest shook under the force. Fire and light consumed everything. The man shielded his eyes, tears streaming down his face. When the light faded, silence returned. The hunters were gone. Their machines lay in ruins. The sky was empty. He stumbled forward, his heart breaking. Smoke filled the air. In the center of the clearing lay her small body, no longer glowing. He fell to his knees beside her. Her skin was pale, her breath shallow. Her eyes opened weakly, just enough to meet his. "You are free now," she whispered, her voice faint. "And so are they." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "You saved us, but why? Why give everything?" She smiled faintly. "Because you saw me. Because you stayed. That is enough." Her hand touched his cheek, soft and trembling. Then her glow flickered one last time and faded. The man held her in his arms, the silence of the forest pressing in. He had won, but at a price he could never forget. She had given her life for freedom. She had made the sacrifice, and he knew in that moment his world would never be the same again.